being here. My name is Dave Yost. I'm happy to be here jointly with my constitutional colleague, John Husted. We're here today because of something that came up at an audit that both the Secretary and I are concerned about. The Toledo Area Transit Agency, during the course of their regular audit, turned out to have given a substantial sum of money to the campaign to pass their tax renewal. This is a contravention of Ohio law. Public money may not be used to influence an election. And we issued a finding for $66,000 for a recovery, finding for recovery, and we got the last payment here recently. That's a check that should have never been written. We're here today to announce that we're working with leaders in the legislature to close a loophole in Ohio law. Even though it says thou shalt not use public money for politics, it doesn't say what happens to the guy who shalt. And we're going to add a provision, if we can gain concurrence of the General Assembly, that will make it a first-degree misdemeanor, bringing it in line with several other sorts of crimes that are misdemeanors but go to the improper use of public money. I'd like to turn to the Secretary Husted for a moment.
Sure. Thank you, Auditor Yost. I appreciate your work and the work of Representative McClain Hill for bringing this legislation forward. One of the things that I think needs to be made abundantly clear is that you cannot use public dollars to achieve political goals. And it is important to, in being here today, I want to emphasize and re-emphasize something that I always try to make clear, and whenever I'm asked this question, is that you can't use public dollars to fund campaigns, and it is a violation of the law. Now, what is helpful with this bill that's being introduced today is it puts some actual teeth in the law to hold people personally accountable. But the one thing that you can't get back in all of this, when public dollars are misused for campaign purposes, is you can't get back the outcome of the vote. How would it have been different? I think sometimes people think that the ends justify their means in campaigns. And what I believe will happen as a result of this legislation is that people will begin to see that they will be held accountable on a personal level if they do these things. And I think that it will serve as a swift deterrent from misuse of public dollars for political purposes. Thank you.
I'd like to ask Jeff McClain to come forward. Representative McClain is a sponsor of this bill. We appreciate his leadership, and if you acknowledge our colleagues from the legislature as well. Sure.
Thank you, Dave. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity to talk about House Bill 326. The need for this bill is clear. There is uneven treatment in the section of law dealing with campaign finance. This bill will close that loophole and better protect taxpayer dollars while providing consistent accountability on a personal note. Under the Ohio Revised Code Section 9.03, governing bodies of a political subdivision are prohibited from using public funds to support or oppose candidates or levy campaigns. But unlike other campaign finance violations, there's not a criminal penalty. This bill will change that. The penalty would be a misdemeanor of the first degree, the same as many other violations of campaign finance law. House Bill 326 will protect taxpayer dollars, making certain that these monies provide government services, not serve political interests. I want to thank you for your interest on this bill. And we also have a co-sponsor, Representative Brian Hill.
Thank you. I'm State Representative Brian Hill, representing the 94th District. This is my first joint sponsor bill since I was recently appointed. I signed on to this House Bill 326 with Representative McClain excuse me, because I felt it was important for the public to know but those who represent them in Columbus are, in fact, watching out for their tax dollars and how they're spent. Thank you, Representative McClain, for bringing forth this legislation and allowing me to joint sponsor this bill. I look forward to working with Representative McClain, Auditor Yost, and Secretary Husted while this bill is making its way through the legislative process. I want to thank you for that opportunity.
We also have Chairman Lynn Slaby of the committee that will be hearing the bill.
Thank you, Representative. I'm here just simply to indicate to you that House Bill 326, man, those bills fly by fast. 326 has been assigned to the Criminal Justice Committee. It's my committee I chair. I want to assure all the parties, both opponents and proponents, that we will have hearings on this very rapidly. I think it's a bill that needs its attention and immediate attention. I look forward to hearing the testimony, both proponent and opponent testimony on the bill, but I can assure all parties that it's going to come into the committee and it's going to have full attention paid to it during the course of the committee hearings. And I think that's about all I have to say. It looks pretty good.
Judge Slaby, thank you. I'd be happy to take any questions.
It's
Yes.
already illegal to do this, and you're adding a first-degree misdemeanor to it. Is there anything else that this bill carries with it, any punitive? And what would that mean in terms of how it's applied?
The problem with current law is it's merely a compliance issue. So if law is misappropriated, if money is misappropriated and used for these improper purposes, the most that can happen is my office issues a finding for recovery and gets the money back. We think that this is more than just should be more than just a rule governing how appropriations happen, and believe that there needs to be a criminal penalty, very similar to the dereliction of duty statute, which makes it a misdemeanor crime to spend more than was appropriated, for example.
How often does this happen? Does it come up in other audits, and how frequent of a problem is this? Or is this the first time that you've been aware of it?
Well, the question is whether in the course of a routine financial audit would necessarily come to light. Financial audits sample, and if your sample doesn't happen to include the one time that it was done in the course of a year, it might not be discovered. Is this a rampant problem? I don't think so. Is it a problem that there is a lot of confusion on? Absolutely. When I was county prosecutor, I was asked regularly by subdivisions and boards that would seek tax levies what they were allowed to do with public money and whether certain money was public or private. So this is also part of an education process to make sure that people know what is and isn't permissible. The bottom line is, even if it doesn't have a Republican or a Democrat label after it, even if it's just a tax issue for something good like schools or a jail or a senior citizens levy or buses, you can't use public money to do politics.